All right, so just sitting nice and tall, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. And gently close the eyes if they're not closed already. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose, expanding belly, expanding chest. And exhaling out through the mouth. Just 2 more breaths like that. Nice deep breath in. Exhale out. 1 more nice deep breath in, expanding everything. And exhale, letting it go. And then from here, you can just find a nice even breath in and out through the nose. We're just going to maintain our focus on our breath for the next few moments. Letting any thoughts go as they arise. And just always coming back to your next breath. And start to bring the hands to heart center. Palms in our prayer mudra, our Anjali mudra. And we'll open our practice just by gently bowing our head to our hands. You can allow the hands to float down into your lap. Begin to flutter the eyes open, gazing down. And then from here, you can just gently float the crown of the head back up. From here, we're going to extend out our left leg and bring the right foot to the inside of the thigh. You can flex through that left foot, sitting nice and tall. We're going to reach both arms up, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to take a twist over to the right, left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind you. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. And exhale for 2. Inhale, come back through center. On your exhalation, we're going to lengthen over to the left. So left arm to the inside of that left knee, right arm reaches up and over. 2 breaths, inhale. Exhaling for 1. Second breath in. And exhale for 2. On your next breath in, we'll reach both arms back up. Turn to face the left leg And then as you exhale, gently fold over that left leg. 2 more breaths, inhale. Exhaling for 1. Inhale. And exhale for 2. All right, we're gonna come back through center. We're gonna extend out our right leg as well, just finding a wide-legged straddle. And then from here, your choice if you wanna grab blocks or not. We are gonna start to walk the hands forward and just find a forward fold in between the legs. So hands can come down to the mat or to blocks. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. 1 more breath. And exhale. All right, we're going to start to walk our hands back up towards the hips. We're going to now bring that left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Right foot is flexed. Inhale, both arms reach up. As you exhale, let's take a twist over to the left for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. And exhale for 2. Inhale, come back through center, reach both arms up. On your exhalation, lengthening to the right. 2 breaths, inhale. Exhaling for 1. Second breath in. And exhale for 2. Inhale, come back through center, turn to face that right leg. On your exhalation, folding over it. 2 more breaths, inhale. Exhaling for 1. Second breath in. And exhale for 2. We'll start to come back through center. This time we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. You can wrap your hands around your ankles, maybe take a moment just to sway in the hips from side to side, just to loosen up through the hip flexors, especially after that stretching. You can butterfly the knees a bit. And then from here, same thing, you can use the blocks or not. We're just gonna walk our hands forward, finding a forward fold in your Baddha Konasana. We're gonna take 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. 1 more breath here. And exhale. You can start to rise back up. We're going to make our way into table from here. All right, so finding your table, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. We're just going to begin to move through our cat-cow, inhaling to arch and exhaling to round. Nice gentle movement, waking up the spine. You can tuck and untuck the toes here if you'd like as you move through cat-cow. And then maybe you do a few rounds of cat-cow and you want to find some other movement here as well. Entirely up to you. And then from here, we are going to just tuck our right toes under, coming back into our stationary table. And then you're going to slide that right foot back, picking the back knee up off the mat. We're just going to rock the weight of the body forwards and backwards. And then the next time you reach back through that right heel, you're going to go ahead, pick that right foot up. Now from here, I want you to point the toes, and then we're going to point the toes up towards the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to point that right knee out to the right. So just opening that right hip. We're going to do 3 big knee circles in one direction. 3 big knee circles in the other direction. And then from here, square your hips off, straighten that right leg back. As you exhale, you're going to bring that right knee in towards the nose and then place that right foot in between the hands. All right, from here, I want you to grab your blocks. We're going to place them right underneath our shoulders. We're gonna tuck our back toes under, lift the back knee up off the mat. And now we're just gonna move, bending and straightening through that right leg. And just exploring the movement. You can play with opening and closing off the hips, sinking through that left hip, bringing movement anywhere you want to stretch, anywhere you want to feel, anywhere you want to explore. And then we'll start to make our way back into that low lunge. You can gently drop the back knee down to the mat, untuck the toes, place your blocks aside, hands to the mat, coming back into your table. All right, from your table, realigning yourself, you can start to tuck your left toes under, slide that left foot back, and then we'll just hinge the weight of our body forwards and backwards, stretching out through the back of that left leg this time. And then from here, go ahead, pick that left foot up off the mat. You can point through the toes and point those toes up at the ceiling. We're gonna open our left knee out to the left, and then you can start to just circle that left knee, 3 big circles in one direction, 3 big circles in the other direction. And then from here, square your hips off, straighten that left leg. As you exhale, left knee comes in towards the nose, and then we'll place that left foot in between the hands. Go ahead, grab your blocks again. We'll begin to tuck those back toes under, lift the back knee, and then just find some gentle movement, bending and straightening through that left knee, dropping the back knee down again if you want to. Anything that you might have done on the other side, evening yourself out. And then from here, we're gonna just start to make our way back into that low lunge. This time we are gonna keep the back knee lifted. You're gonna place the blocks aside, bring the hands to the mat, just finding your runner's lunge, taking a nice deep breath in. And then on your exhalation, go ahead and press it back into your first downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the knees. Shaking the head, yes or no. Anything that feels good in your first downward dog of practice. And then on your next breath in, bend both knees and the belly back towards the thighs. And then on your exhalation, we're just going to come back into that stationary downward dog, reaching through the heels, hips high. Inhale, we're gonna start to walk our feet in between our hands, finding a forward fold at the front of the mat. You can grab opposite elbows, let the head hang heavy. Maybe sway the torso from side to side. Hips high, head low. Just swaying. You can go ahead and take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Second time, inhale. And exhale, release your arms. On your next breath in, let's find a flat back, rolling the shoulders back towards the spine. On your exhalation, gently folding forward over the legs, head heavy, arms heavy. Let's straighten out through our right leg. We're gonna bring our left hand to our right shin. And then we're gonna peel that right arm up, taking a twist to the right. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Second breath in. And exhale, folding forward, head heavy, arms heavy. Flat back, inhale. Exhale to fold again. Let's straighten our left leg out now. Right hand to left shin. Left arm is going to peel up, twisting to the left. 2 breaths, inhale. Exhale, 1. Second breath in. And exhale for 2, folding forward over the legs. From here, keeping the head heavy, keeping the arms heavy, we're gonna roll up to stand. And then when you arrive, you can just do 3 big exaggerated shoulder rolls forward to get into our rotary cuffs. And then 3 big shoulder rolls backwards. And then from here, we're just gonna come back into our Tadasana. Palms facing forward, reach into the fingers. We're gonna come into just some sun salutation A, just one sequence on, or the same, one sequence on each side. Just moving with your breath. On your next inhalation, we're gonna circle both arms up into our high prayer. And then as you exhale, we're gonna fold forward over the legs. Flat back on your inhale. On your exhalation, bringing the hands down to the mat, we're gonna step it back into our downward dog. Take a moment, pedal out through the knees. As you inhale, we're gonna find our plank. And then on your exhalation, we're gonna drop down, knees to the mat, chest in, chin. Inhale, finding low cobra. And then exhale, pressing it back into your downward facing dog. Full cycle of breath here. Inhale. And exhale. On your next breath in, we're gonna send that right leg up and back into a downward dog split. As you exhale, right foot in between the hands, low lunge. Roll the shoulders back, look forward, runner's lunge. As you exhale, you're gonna gently bring that left foot to meet the right, folding forward at the front of your mat. We're gonna find a flat back on our inhale. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, high prayer. Exhale, hands flow through heart center. And then by your side. High prayer, inhale. Exhale, folding forward over the legs. Flat back, inhale. On your exhalation, hands to the mat. Left foot will step back into a low lunge. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands and step it back into your downward dog. Inhale, finding plank. Exhale, knees to the mat, chest and chin. Inhale, low cobra. On your exhalation, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale, left leg reaches back. Exhale, left foot in between the hands, low lunge. Roll the shoulders back, look forward. Exhale, right foot meets the left as you're folding forward at the front of the mat. Flat back, inhale. Exhale to fold again. Inhale, high prayer. Exhale, hands flow through heart center. And then by your side, high prayer, inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Right foot will step back into low lunge. Inhale, look forward, prepare. Exhale, plant the hands and step it back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees to the mat, chest and chin. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths in downward dog. Child's pose is also an option. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhaling for 2. 1 more breath here. And exhale. On your next breath in, right leg is going to reach back. As you exhale, we're going to come into warrior 1. So right foot behind that right wrist. You can spin the left heel down to the mat and then gently rise up. Right knee aligned with the ankle. We're going to reach those arms up. From your warrior 1, we're just going to gently straighten through that right leg and bring our arms by our side, nice and slow. And then as you inhale, we're going to come back into warrior 1. 2 more times, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior 1. From our warrior 1, straighten through the right leg again. This time we're going to interlace the hands at the low back. Reach the fist back, open through the chest, inhale. On your exhalation, rebend that right knee, devotional warrior, just melting forward to the inside of that right thigh for 3 breaths, inhale. Exhaling for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Last breath here. On your exhalation, I want you to go ahead and release the hands to your blocks. Blocks are just going to be right in front of the foot, shoulder distance apart. And then we're going to start to come into a supported warrior 3. So just giving yourself some time here to make sure that left foot is flexed, that left hip is squared off with the right, coming up onto the fingertips, keeping the back nice and flat. Nice, yeah. Now, if you did want to float the hands up, you can, but we're really kind of working more on form right now. And it is a gentle class after all. And take 1 more breath here. And then from here, you're just going to start to gently bend through that right knee. We're going to tap the left toes down to the mat. With your hands still on the blocks, let's just work our way back into a low lunge, the runner's lunge. So you can just start to sink through that hip, bring the hands back down to the mat to frame through the right foot once you make it here. Deep breath in, look forward. And then exhale, plant the hands, step it back. Your choice if you want to move through your vinyasa or skip it. And then we'll take 3 breaths back and downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. 1 more breath. And exhale. On your next breath in, left leg will reach back. As you exhale, left foot behind that left wrist, right heel spins down to the mat, warrior 1. So just like you're moving through molasses, inhale, we're going to straighten through that left leg, bring the arms by your side. And then exhale back into our warrior 1. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior 1. Keeping your arms where they are, we're going to straighten through that left leg. Interlace the hands at the low back. Reach the fist back and open to the chest. Inhale. On your exhalation, rebend through that left knee. Devotional warrior. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhaling for 2. One more breath here. On your exhalation, release the hands down to your blocks. We're just going to gently make our way into our warrior three. All about the alignment here with the support of the blocks. You're going to take 3 breaths on your own. On your next exhalation, gently bend through that left knee, tap the toes down to the mat, finding that low lunge. Once you're here, you can place the blocks aside, hands to the mat, roll the shoulders back, look forward. Exhale, press it back, move through your vinyasa, or skip it, your choice. Three breaths, inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. One more breath here. And exhale. On your next breath in, right leg is going to reach back. As you exhale, right foot in between the hands, left heel spins down to the mat. We're going to rise up into our warrior 2. Right arm forward, left arm back. From our warrior 2, go ahead and straighten through the right leg. Send your left hip back. We're going to reach forward. Right hand is going to come down either to your shin or to a block. Left arm floats up. Trikonasana, triangle pose. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhaling for 2. One more breath here. And then on your exhalation, I want you to bring the left hand down to a block on the outside of that, the inside of that right foot. So on the left side of your mat. You're going to bring that right hand to your hip. Now, if you need to, you can take that left foot in just a little bit more because we're going to come into a twist, and sometimes it's going to be really uncomfortable if the foot is all the way back in that triangle stance. And then from here, we're going to start to open that right shoulder out to the right. And again, if that left heel is lifting, walk it in. Reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. 3 breaths, revolve triangle. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhaling for 2. One more breath here. And exhale. Let's start to release both hands down a block. And now I actually want you to just heel toe that right foot a little bit more over to the right and walk that left foot in a little bit more. So that left hip is really squared off with the right. Inhale, just find a flat back on the blocks. Yeah, and then as you exhale, we're going to fold over that right leg, finding our pyramid pose. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. One more breath here. And then on your exhalation, you're just going to gently bend through that right knee. We're going to come into our low lunge. You're going to place your blocks aside, hands to the mat, look forward. And then on your exhalation, plant your hands, step it back into your plank. And then from your plank, I want you to lower all the way down onto the mat with control. You can release your right cheek to the mat, arms by your side. Wiggle through the hips. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. From here, you can bring your feet as wide as the mat. We're going to keep our feet pressing into the mat. So we're not going to lift our legs here. We're going to come into a half locust. So chin or forehead to the mat to prepare. You can interlace the hands at the low back. Exhale everything out. And then on your next breath in, you're going to reach those hands back, opening through the chest, drawing the shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Keep lifting up through the chest for 2. 1 more breath. And exhale, release. Left cheek to the mat this time. Release the arms, wiggle through the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale out. From here, you can start to bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to press it back into a child's pose. From your child's pose, your choice. You can move through your vinyasa, coming back to downward facing dog, or you can take 3 breaths here in child's pose. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhaling for 2. 1 more breath here. And exhale. All right, you can start to make your way back into your downward facing dog when you're ready. We're going to come into our last standing sequence on this side. Inhale, left leg is going to reach back. As you exhale, left foot in between the hands, right heel spins down to the mat. We're rising up into our warrior 2. Left arm forward, right arm back. From your warrior 2, straighten through that left leg, send that right hip back. We're going to reach forward. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Trikonasana, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhaling for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. 1 more breath. On your exhalation, right hand comes down to the block on the inside of that left foot. Adjusting that right foot if you need to. We're going to take that left hand to our hip, open our chest up as much as you can to the left, and then we're going to reach that left arm up. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhaling for 2. Keep wrapping that right hip forward. 1 more breath. On your exhalation, both hands come down to the blocks. Adjust the feet even more. Getting that right hip really squared off with the left. We're going to come up onto tented fingers and find that flat back on your inhale. And then as you exhale, folding forward over that left leg. 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. 1 more breath. And then as you exhale, we're just going to start to bend through that left knee, shimmy that right foot back. You can place the blocks aside, hands to the mat, look forward, inhale. As you exhale, plant your hands, step it back. With control, we're lowering all the way down onto our bellies. All right, from here, left cheek to the mat, arms by your side, wiggle up through the hips. Nice deep breath in. Exhale out. I'm going to give you 2 options here. You can either do exactly what we did before, feet nice and wide, chin to the mat. You can interlace the hands, half locust, or you're going to reach your arms forward as well. And if you are choosing to bring your arms forward, have the arms mat distance as well, so you look like a starfish. We're going to exhale everything out. And then on your next breath in, we're lifting everything up. Full locust, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Have those feet nice and wide for your low back. 1 more breath. And exhale, release. From here, let's point both toes up towards the ceiling. You can stack your hands and bring your forehead to the hands, and then just windshield wipe your knees from right to left. And then from here, we're just going to start to bring those hands back underneath the shoulders. Go ahead, press it back into your child's pose. And then it's up to you if you want to make your way back into your downward facing dog and move through your vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. One more breath here. And exhale. Start to make your way back into your downward facing dog. On your next breath in, right leg is going to reach back. As you exhale, we're going to come into a pigeon pose. You can start to bring that right foot behind that left wrist, right knee behind the right wrist, shimmying that left leg back to get the left hip open. Anything you need to prop yourself up here in your pigeon for your right hip. As you start to walk your hands forward, resting your forehead onto something as well. Relaxing through the front of your body. Breathing here. We're going to spend about 90 seconds here. Let's start to gently press our way back up. And I want you just to take your time to make your way back into your downward facing dog. Take a moment to do anything you need to for that right hip. Now, if you choose to, as always, optional vinyasa here. Otherwise, you can stay in your downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. One more breath. And exhale. As you inhale, left leg will extend back. As you exhale, pigeon on the left side. Taking your time to get into it, using anything you need to for your pigeon. Lowering yourself down when you're ready. About 90 seconds here. One more breath here. From here, go ahead, press yourself back up. Take your time, make your way back into your downward facing dog. And then if you choose to, last vinyasa of our practice, and we're gonna come back into another child's pose from there. Have it be a nice wide knee child's pose. You can kind of gently shift your hips from side to side. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. From here, we're just gonna start to walk the hands back up by the hips. Seated on our heels for a moment, let's walk our hands behind us. And we're just coming into a very modified version of camel. So you're just gonna press your pelvis forward and open through the chest. Nice deep breath in. And exhale, release back down. We'll shift our hips to one side, swing the legs around, and then you're just gonna go ahead and lay down onto your back. So you can bring your feet to the mat, knees bent, feet close to the sit bones, like you're preparing for a bridge. We are gonna do what is called in yoga therapeutics a hip inquiry. So instead of lifting both hips up at the same time like you do in your bridge pose, I want you just to lift the right hip up and then bring it back down. And that's all we're gonna do. So you're gonna lift your right hip, lower it back down. Just over and over. Nice and slow, doesn't have to be really high or forceful. Just shifting the weight over to that left hip, opening that right hip, and then bringing it down. It's such a subtle movement. Lifting that right hip up and lowering it down. One more. And then we'll come into the left side. So shifting the weight a little on that right hip. Left hip rises, left hip lowers down. Left hip rises, left hip lowers down. Just keep doing that. So we're just reaching that left sit bone up and down. Lifting that left sit bone and hip up, low back and down. All right, last one. Okay, from here, if your feet kind of moved around a bit, you can just get them right back underneath the sit bones. We will do a few rounds of our moving bridge pose. So on your next breath in, both sit bones come up off the mat. You're gonna reach those arms up and over the head, and then exhale, gently lower. So just moving with your own breath. Massaging out through the spine, massaging out through the low back. Your hips, your pelvis, they don't have to come so high. Just as high as how it feels best for you. Because we're just trying to explore the sensation in your hips, in your low back, without challenging it. We'll do one more. And then release. Nice. So from here, let's bring the feet as wide as the mat. We're going to bring the knees into touch. And then we're just going to windshield wiper the knees from right to left. Just massaging out through the low back now and our hips. And then the next time you drop your knees over to the right, I want you to take that right foot and place it just above the left knee. This nice outer hip twist. Breathing here. One more breath. You can gently release the right foot from the thigh. We're going to windshield wiper our legs again. So still our feet are mat distance. A little bit more movement for the spine, for the low back, for the waist, hips, thighs. And then when you drop those knees over to the left, we'll take that right foot to the outside of that left, or that left foot, excuse me, outside of that right knee. Nice stretch along the outside of that left thigh, left hip, waist, low back. One more breath here. From here, we're going to start to release the foot from the knee. We're going to come back through center. This time, we're just going to bring both knees in towards the chest, and I want you just to rock and roll and massage out through the low back. And you have some other options here. Since we did a lot on the hips, when a lot on the low back, you can take your hands to your kneecaps. Maybe you kind of create circles with both knees together, one way and the other way, to get into the low back. Or if you want to get into the individual hip flexors, you take both hands to your kneecaps and you do individual circles. So 2 circles instead of 1, maybe going in first and then out first, or out next. Just taking a little time here. You can do all those options. You can do none of those options. Whatever your body wants. If you want to come into a happy baby, you can come into your happy baby. Anything that feels good here. Gentle stretching in the inner hip flexors now. And then we'll bring those knees back in towards our chest. And then we're going to just drop our knees over to the right, scooch the hips to the left, finding a traditional reclined spinal twist. Let's start to scooch our hips over to the left, the right side of the mat. Drop your knees over to the left side of the mat. Head can turn to the right side of the mat. Breathing here. All right, you can start to come back through center. You can bring the knees back in towards the chest for a moment. And then pick your head up, bring your forehead to meet the knees, just squeezing everything into a tight little ball. And on your exhalation, we're releasing out into our Shavasana. So take a moment here if you need to put on any extra layers, get yourself nice and comfortable in your Shavasana. Back body nice and heavy. Front body is light and supported by your back body. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, expanding through the belly, expanding through the chest. And on your exhalation, imagining any leftover tension releasing out through the crown of your head. You can start to find some gentle movement here in the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, swaying the head from side to side. On your next breath in, reach both arms back behind you. Give yourself a big stretch. And from here, you can start to gently bend the knees. We're going to make our way over to one side. Find that fetal position on the mat. And then keeping the head heavy and the eyes closed. You can go ahead and press yourself up, find a comfortable seat. Let's bring our hands to heart center. We'll close our practice as well as seal the intention that we set at the beginning of our practice by gently bowing our heads to our hands. Thank yourself for doing something good for your body as well as your mind. As always, thank you, Vicki, for joining me in your practice. Namaste.